you are. I'm going to. I gotta get to.
Okay, I'm late to work. Jack off.
Election in Sean P. Diddy Combs' federal trial, prosecutors, defense attorneys, the court, they are all asking questions of these prospective jurors to try to find a panel by the end of the week. Who better to talk about jury selection in a high-profile trial with a high-profile celebrity client than Ben Shue, the attorney who famously represented Johnny Depp. Let's hear what he thinks of the process so far. Presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Webb.
Flashing titties and shit on here, that's why.
Hey everybody, this is another Law and Crime Angle alert. So lawsuits allege that antacid use has been linked to increases in stomach cancer and gastric cancer. So if you or a loved one were diagnosed with stomach cancer or gastric cancer after using an antacid, you may qualify for compensation. One of our legal sponsors is partnering with the firm. This is a national firm helping those injured to ensure their claims are thoroughly presented. Just acidclaims.com/sidebar or scan the QR code on screen to answer less than 10 questions and check your eligibility to file a claim. Well, Sean Diddy Combs was back in court today alongside his ever-expanding team of high-powered lawyers. We talked about how he added another lawyer yesterday, Nicole Westmoreland, but he was back for day 3 of jury selection. And it has been a fascinating process to go through over 100 potential prospective jurors to get to about 45 jurors or so. Before that number is then whittled down to 12 jurors and 6 alternates. And reporting is a bit mixed on this, but by the end of the day on Monday, we believe 19 prospective jurors moved forward. And then yesterday, we're seeing reporting that 16 moved forward. So you have men, women, according to USA Today, wide range of people from their 30s to their 80s, those in the fields of design, medicine, social work, manufacturing. Apparently, they get their news from a variety of different outlets, including on YouTube and social media. So watch Sidebar? I don't know. They shouldn't be watching it now. They shouldn't be watching it for the next 8 weeks, especially if they're selected. Well, only if they're selected. But that is how long we think this trial is going to last, by the way. 8 weeks with opening scheduled for May 12th. And remember what we're talking about here. Combs faces 5 federal charges. He's accused of running a criminal enterprise that is focused on sexual needs and desires, hiring sex workers, procuring drugs and baby, setting up hotel rooms for elaborate sex parties called freak-offs. We expect that multiple alleged victims, including his ex-girlfriend Cassandra Ventura, who we believe to be victim 1 in the case, to testify against him, that they felt forced or coerced to participate in these sexual episodes. He's facing racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, transportation to engage in prostitution charges, potentially life in prison if convicted. And Combs, as we know, has been behind at the Metropolitan Detention Center, the NDC out in Brooklyn, since his arrest last fall. And again, here at Sidebar, we plan to cover every aspect of this trial. After all, we've been covering this Sean Combs saga since Ventura first sued him back in November of 2023. So with all that in mind, now I want to bring on a special guest. I want to bring on trial attorney Shue, who famously represented Johnny Depp in his high-profile celebrity trial back then. So good to see you. Thanks for taking the time.
During the trial,
so Ben, what do you make so far of the jury selection process? As somebody who went through a jury selection for a high-profile celebrity in a high-profile case, what do you make of what we're seeing so far?
Well, it's taking longer than I would have expected. In the case of Depp v. Heard, everybody wanted to serve on the jury. So in many cases, as you know, jurors are trying to make excuses as to why they can't sit through a long trial. And 8 weeks, as you say, is a very long trial.
That is long.
But in these celebrity trials, I think people are more inclined to want to serve as a juror. So I'm a little surprised it's taken as long as it has.
Well, I'll talk about some of the reasons why they're being excused, but that's interesting you say that, because look, there was a lot of attention on your trial. A lot of people were interested in it. You get a front row seat if you're sitting in the jury. I wonder if this is a bit different, right? So it's 8 weeks, criminal trial, very tough subject. Video evidence, and I wonder if it's a bit different. And by the way, maybe they're nervous of sitting on a jury like this. And too, I mean, it's hard to get into people's minds, but do you think that the criminal aspect of this might play a difference?
Yeah, that's a great point. In a civil trial, all that's really at stake is money. Also, in our case, it was reputation.
Sure.
It was existential for our client. But I think that's a great point. When there's a prospect of somebody losing his or her liberty, that's a pretty weighty issue.
Now, if you're representing a celebrity like Sean Combs, whose name has been dragged through the mud in the last year and a half, 2 years, put that to the side.
It's a scary idea to me because I simply do not know where
Alright, here the real air commercial. I don't want to play
What's
the
the
Side. Who do you want as a juror on this case? Celebrity client, celebrity defendant, who do you want on this jury?
That's what you
Hey, look, hey, this is Marty's friend. Look,
To serve.
I don't
Someone
this is
eager,
Marty's friend.
to
Wonderful.
serve,
This is the
because
bitch that
suggests
fucking
person
claims she
might
worked for
be
shooting. What is she
inclined toward a
calling?
celebrity
I don't even
like
care what
Diddy.
this
I wanna
I
know
would
what that
also,
bitch
in
is
this
saying.
case, I would want
I don't
men,
know,
not
your phone's
because
so damn
men
dirty, I can't
support
even see.
abuse, but I could see
Good
this
question.
being
Johnny must
very
have
difficult
inside
for
information.
women jurors.
Who
I
is
would
Jerry
want younger
anyway?
jurors as
Someone
well.
said, who is
I
Jerry
don't
anyway?
know
She
that
said,
older
good question.
jurors
Johnny must have inside information.
would be good
I
for
have
him.
no idea what the fuck that
Do you
is.
So what do
care
you
what the
mean?
news?
What do
Do
you
you
mean?
care
What
if
are you
they go on
talking? Is that
social
wonderful
media?
that said that, or the other? Who's the other comment?
I wouldn't care about
So
social
dirty.
media.
Big sausage
Certainly
from
watching
Oh, the
Canada.
Canada guy.
crime
Yeah,
would be
hey,
good.
Canada. American
Who
guys
is
too.
Jerry?
No, I
fuck
wouldn't
is
care
Jerry?
too much.
Jury,
I mean,
you
in fact,
mean?
if
The
you're reading
jury?
celebrities,
Yeah, like
media,
the jury in the
TMZ,
court.
Rolling Stone, that
That
might
big
be the
sausage from
third
Canada guy. He's gonna be proud to be an
for
American.
Diddy's
So.
counsel.
Now, Ben,
Shut
according
up.
to the court today, they expect preemptory challenges on Friday. So that's going to be the next stage of the jury selection process. So once you have 45 prospective jurors, then each side gets those specific challenges
45.
to exclude a juror for whatever reason they want. But there are some limitations to that. How important are those preemptory challenges for the prosecution and defense?
Never
Well, they're
driving through the
extremely
ghetto.
important for both sides, and I suspect that Diddy has a very good jury consultant, probably more than one, who is profiling the type of juror that would be most sympathetic to him.
Fuck me.
And I think it's wise for attorneys, even experienced attorneys, to defer for the most part to those jury
I have no
consultants. Now,
inside information.
ultimately,
Wonderful.
it's the client's choice,
Inside
and the
your
client should be
It's
protected
inside info
in the process, especially where it's here,
What
his liberty
inside
is at stake.
information? We're saying
And
they're
was that something
picking the
that you had in
jury
your
and
case
they're
where
letting a bunch of
your
juries
client
go.
wanted to get
That
involved in
jury,
the jury selection
jury.
process? Because it's been reported
And if
that
she doesn't
Diddy
like
has
you,
been
why is she
almost
following
like
your
nodding
YouTube?
to his attorneys
No,
and
that's
maybe
Marty's,
shaking
because
his
she's
head
spying on me.
regarding
Remember,
certain
she's like,
prospective
"Oh, I'm gonna
jurors.
spy on you and
Is
have
that
my
common? Is
government
that what you
agents
saw?
If her
get."
government
I think that
agents
is
gonna
common,
get
and,
fired by
it's,
Trump anyway.
I
it's
know, right?
natural that you would
Hey,
want to
wonderful. How did Trump
have
not
some
fire
role
you yet? I made a whole
in
video
the
dedicated
people
to
in
Joyce Liu,
choosing the people who decide
Joyce
their
Liu.
fate. And it also
On
gives the
Facebook,
client, I
Joyce
think,
Liu, I made a
some
whole
measure
fucking
of some
video.
feeling of control
looks
in a
good as hell.
situation
Yeah,
where
that's
any
so good.
defendant would have to feel a
I
profound
don't know if I
lack of
trust it, but
control.
it looks
Because
real
this is
good.
Yeah,
not,
right?
he's used to controlling his business, his social life, and this is a situation over which he has
need
almost no
to
control. So this
fire
is an
your
opportunity
I
for
can't even
him
fucking
to
see
have
your
at
phone so
least a
dirty.
modicum of control.
You need to
And these
fire your
preemptory
content
challenges, each side
creator.
will
They
get a
don't
certain
know how to
amount of them
spell.
to
Go
strike
fuck
jurors.
yourself.
It
Then
doesn't
go
have
to
to
a
cause a
different,
for whatever
go
reason
to
they
a
want,
different
but
page
there are
if you're
limitations.
so
So they can't be
uninterested.
strike jurors
And not
because of
only
race
that, I'm the
or
content
gender
creator.
or
Just like
ethnicity.
you invented
How on earth
pothole
is the
pads?
court
What the fuck
supposed
is
to
she
know
talking
that?
about?
How on
Yeah,
earth,
show you
in
she's
defense,
Marty's
the
friend.
prosecution's not going to come out and
What are
say
you
that's the
talking about,
reason
pothole
they're
pads?
excluding a juror.
Yeah,
How
he
do
doesn't
you
spell
make
good
that
because he's
accusation that they're,
handicapped and he has a brain
excluding
injury.
somebody for an
That's why he
improper
doesn't
reason?
spell
I
right.
think
And
it's,
no,
as
I'm
you
not
point out,
trying
I
to
think
spell
it's
right, and I'm
extremely
not his
difficult,
content
and I think
creator.
the
I'm his
judges
wife.
I'm the
generally
content
defer
creator.
to
I don't do
counsel in
any
making
content
those decisions.
creating.
And I suppose if you had something egregious
And I'm
where,
gonna
for
spell
example,
however I want. If
one
you don't like
side
it,
was
hop the fuck
striking
off,
all
bitch.
African American women, then I think
Until
you would
Marty-
have
Don't do your government job. You work for the
that's a certain
government. What are you
color,
doing on
but
Facebook?
I don't
Yeah,
see
right.
that very
What do you
often.
work from home?
Now,
Alright,
Ben,
Trump's
it's
gonna
so
put your ass
interesting what
fucking
happened.
Take your
We had
ass,
a
go do
juror
your
who
government
was
job, and get the
excused
fuck
because
off
I
of
believe
the
she had
fucking
worked for
life.
HBO, and we know
And
that
tell
HBO
Marty to
produced
unblock me,
documentaries
bitch.
on Diddy. Mark Agnifilo,
Marty.
who's one of Trump's
I mean, that's
attorneys,
crazy
says
that she
he
blocked me
believes
over
this
this
doc
crazy bitch.
will come into
Who cares?
I-
The lady's
And
nothing
we
to
had
us. We
another
don't
juror
know her.
who
I don't
claimed the
care to
defense
know
was
her. I don't
being
care if she ever
disclosed on the
comments
jury
again. She could
questionnaire
move on
that
with
she
her
worked
life
at
to her
Equal Pay
government
Society,
job.
although
I'm gonna
she
That
keep-
she's
claims
robbing
that
fucking
she
American
lied,
people.
allowed her to remain in the
Then she
field.
can
The other
continue
juror
her
was
little
claimed
job,
excluded.
and soon enough,
So
Trump
it's
will
something
fire
very
her.
interesting to
People
try
are
to
so
understand who
against
these
Trump
people are
so
and hoping
badly. But
that
what
they're
did
truthful
Biden
and
do?
hoping
What did
that they're
Camilla
fair
do?
and impartial.
Nothing. So get
Yeah,
over it.
For real.
We have an opinion,
Yeah,
and so do
and
you.
in my
That's
experience,
fucking
judges
simple.
are tough
Right.
on those
You don't like
issues
our
where there
opinion?
is
Oh,
a
well.
I
potential
think your
of
opinions,
bias
what
or
you're
prejudice
from
that
your
they will tend to
Facebook I was
exclude
trolling,
jurors
you're
who have
completely
stupid
ultimately
insane.
could have been fair.
Just
Can you
like
give me
you
a little
invented
inside baseball?
Palovitz.
How
Who is your
much
backseat
research
driver
do you do
anyways?
on
I'm on
this?
lunch
Maybe
break.
not at the
Relax, lazy
first
person.
stage,
Yeah, I'm a
but
lazy person and I work 50 hours a week. You're a loser.
I guess the next
And
stage, so leading
you're
into
on lunch
Friday,
break,
the
so
same
what are you
thing
so worried
How much
about what
do
we're doing on your lunch break?
these
Shouldn't
your
you be
government
eating
job?
lunch?
On your government job? Are you in your
You're
government?
gonna get his Facebook taken down because you work for the government?
Try
The
me.
Facebook government?
Yeah, freedom of speech, bitch, and I'm gonna keep tagging you in Facebook too. I'm gonna tag you
Who's your
non-stop,
backseat
Joyce.
driver anyways? I'm not a
My
backseat
wife.
driver, I'm a passenger princess, bitch. And on top of that, I'm his wife.
It's a great
My passenger princess wife.
I know that
Stupid ass backseat driver, bitch, I ain't in no
you have
backseat.
this beautiful home and you lose all the equity in it.
If you don't like him and you don't like his opinions, why do you keep following him? Move on.
Oh yeah, I like her views.
Yeah, I bet.
She's helping my
You're giving him more views than anybody.
Hey, you know,
Stop.
you used to love those Tesla trucks. I bet
John!
you're wonderful.
You're on the.
Yeah, go girls.
for sale on a day website. About a week later, the deed had been
Man, look at that
registered on this
I'm on lunch break, lazy person. Yeah, I'm lazy. That's why I work.
deed.
Own a home. Yeah, I'm so
People
lazy.
can and do lose their houses. This
Not
does
even
happen.
30 years old, right?
But you-
But I own a home. I work. But I'm lazy. John.
I
More time that passes before the
But
home
not
is
only that, on top of that,
majority of
tell my
housing
fucking
costs
aunt to
even
unblock
Was
me
she a
because I'm
mail
not
order bride? I'm a fucking American, you idiot. How the fuck would I be a mail order bride? I was born in America, in Chicago, Illinois. A mail order bride you pay for another country. No, he doesn't pay for me, you dumb bitch. She's really pissing me off. Mail order bride? Do I sound like I'm from another country? Do I sound like I'm from fucking Russia?
You sound like you're
I'm from America.
mail, like M-A-I-L.
Babe, a mail order bride is fucking somebody you paid from another country to come over.
Oh, mail, like M-A-I-L, mail.
Fucking stupid bitch. Yeah, I'm a mail order bride. I've been with him for 5 years. I'm fucking 29 years old. And I'm a mail order bride that's an American, born in Chicago. Lived in Chicago my entire life. But I'm a mail order bride.
Why don't you go back to scaring people off Facebook again? 'Cause I'm not intimidated by you.
Literally.
You supposedly, my aunt
Was
told
she a
me,
mail order bride? What a dumb bitch.
supposedly my aunt told me that you got some dude blocked, and if I ever could get in contact with the dude, I'm gonna tell him how to
She ain't
get back
getting
on
nobody
Facebook.
blocked. She works for the government, not for fucking Facebook. And who the fuck cares? Block it, bitch. We'll make another
And not
page.
only that, though, if you do something like that, you're in cover. That's highly illegal and against the Constitution. Trying to censor a government employee, threatening their government job to
She's the
censor
same
free speech.
retard. She's the same retard that said, "Oh, that couldn't have happened at the army base." You want to go to the army base, you stupid bitch? You're
research.
literally,
And now
there's literally,
here,
all immigrants
that
staying at a
research has actually
military
stretched
base.
Well, it's a
over
Marine
period of
memorial.
days.
Whatever.
I would think
Whatever.
that they're-
But it's a
they're
And she
disgrace.
thinks that that can't
looking
happen.
at
Clearly,
every
you don't live in a place where it's
potential
happening to you and living on your doorstep.
And you're not in a
Every night of
sanctuary
trial,
city,
the
you're in
court
Florida.
turns to the next
Wonderful.
phase, cross-examination or direct
Wonderful. I don't know how. You should
arguments
probably
that are
try
gonna
to
make-
get
You also
GED.
have a member of
Bitch,
the
I have
team
my
going
GED.
through
What the
social
fuck are you
media
talking about? You don't even know.
Sure they didn't do
Do you
anything.
know me?
I mean,
You only know
how
what
much
my aunt
research
told
can
you.
do in
Do you
that?
even know me? No, you don't know me. Do you know if I have my high school diploma or my GED? You don't know about me.
Prosecutor, defense
Hop
attorney,
off,
say,
bitch.
Court, we have an issue.
No,
we'd
no,
like to
keep
bring to
watching.
attention.
No,
You're-
hop
no,
the
she's
fuck
not bad.
up.
She's helping me.
You should
How did they find
consider.
that out?
You
Is
should
that what
consider
happened?
censoring your wife. You should consider fucking censoring you, bitch.
And your fake news.
And I'm not gonna be censored, you dumbass, cunt
You're not
ass
censoring
bitch.
nobody with your threatening your government job on U.S.
And you're
civilians.
government, but yet you're talking about a mail order bride and telling me to get a GED when I already have one. I think I should contact your government. Hey, hold on, let me take your screenshot of this real quick.
But not only that.
Hold on, let me take a screenshot.
Okay, I am.
Okay, great. Now
But
I'm
you
gonna go to
can't-
your government job and send this.
Oh no, I got the screenshots of what she sent Marty. I got all those screenshots.
Good, I'm gonna find that bitch and I'm gonna fucking literally write her government job.
We're gonna have
See,
that.
we're gonna see how much you get fired.
Just gonna end up firing
Who
your
told the
ass.
court that she had been sexually assaulted as a
Stupid
teenager?
censor your
And
wife.
if the
He doesn't
defense
have
brings up
control
at
over
trial
me.
That look, these alleged
can't
victims
censor
didn't
shit.
get
Why don't
what
you
they say
censor
happened.
We're a relationship
This jury
50-50.
indicated
He's not gonna
they would
censor
understand
me.
Why not
I'm not a
you?
fucking dog.
Hey, wonderful. Why don't you go on your Facebook and censor your on Choice Lou? Why don't you go on your Choice Lou Facebook account and censor all your disinformation and fake news you got on your fucking Facebook page?
Bullshit. I'm not saying.
Hey, I went on this bitch's Facebook page. She's got so much fake news on there, like it's insane.
I heard all about you from Marty, who's literally met me one time that I took out for pizza and paid for it, and she fucking literally, no, she didn't want the pizza. It wasn't good enough. She wanted the most expensive thing on the fucking menu, and I still paid for it. I met her one time. So what does she know about me? Absolutely nothing.
So Ben, you know, you could
I
say
heard
whatever
all
else
about
just
you.
say whatever
You
they
should
want
probably
to say
quit
about the
smoking.
jury,
You
but,
have a
I'm not
raspy
cynical.
voice
I'm
from it.
taking this
You should
truthful
probably
as what
stop
they
telling
say.
people what the
Kudos
fuck to
to
do
them,
with their
right?
life, bitch. I'll smoke all I want.
It's a free country.
The country is free. I can smoke all I want. And either way, my voice is raspy anyways, you stupid bitch. I literally have a raspy voice well before I started smoking, you fucking dumb bitch.
Be disinclined to serve on a criminal case. I don't think this is the type of case that there be a lot
Probably
of
quit
jurors
smoking.
trying to get
You
out
should
of.
probably fucking mind your own business. Are you smoking? What does it matter?
You should probably quit. Also,
You should probably quit fucking putting your opinion out to people who don't give a fuck.
You should. Oh no, Marty does.
Know who
But
he
you
is.
should
Marty
also.
don't give a fuck. She's a drunken bitch.
But you also keep putting out your fake information on your Facebook. Why don't you quit spreading
Babe, you give her too
disinformation?
much fucking time. She'd be blocked off my shit.
I need her views.
You don't need her views. Fuck that
So
bitch.
I think
I wouldn't want someone sitting there commenting a bunch of bullshit. She ain't even worth the fucking.
I made a whole episode on her. On
Yeah,
her
you
Facebook.
talk. You waste too much time on these fucking useless people.
Well, no, I went to her
She's
Facebook page.
useless.
And I showed all the
She's
crazy shit on there.
useless. She's probably not fucking married, never had kids. She's probably a fucking lonely fucking cat lady like your fucking aunt.
Sex worker in that hotel room.
I'll show you her Facebook real quick.
I seen her Facebook. I don't want to see her ugly ass face again.
Joyce Lou.
I seen
Okay,
it.
so
Yeah, I
tell us about
commented
the
on the thing.
We know that Sean Combs early in the week said,
I don't got
"Court,
time for that
feeling
shit.
a
I
little
commented,
nervous
I
today.
never looked
Let's say
back, and
openings
that's it."
begin Day 1, May 12th.
She's heard
okay?
all
What
about
do
me.
you
Your aunt met
advise
me
your
for fucking
celebrity
2
client to
hours.
do and not to do
After I took her
as
out
this
to
trial
eat.
begins and progresses, right?
And paid for it, mind
I
you.
would remind him to
And the only reason she got your grandma's ashes was because of
Want
us.
to turn hair loss into hair gains? With Hims, discover a range of prescription treatments in a variety of
And I was nice enough to comment on your aunt's thing when she said her cat ate something or she wanted to GoFundMe for people to send her money. I was going to send her money, but
so you
go.
can stop hair loss and regrow hair in just 3 to 6 months for more confident hair gains.
Snowball or whatever the fuck her cat's name is. Did Did you see that post?
It started today.
Marys or,
Yeah, she said something about Snowball did something, ate something, or I could have been a bitch and not wrote anything, but I
Every second
wasn't.
he is in the courtroom,
I didn't see it
at
though.
least one juror and probably
here,
more
listen.
are going to be looking at him. So he should act as if he were testifying every second he's in the courtroom. And given the nature of the seriousness of the charges and the fact that they're going to be
She
seeing
wouldn't
this
have a
video,
minute
which
on
is
my
very
motherfucking
disturbing, I
Facebook.
think he
Fucking
should
block.
avoid a lot of.
You
no,
let
I think he
fucking
should avoid
unnecessary
any
people
letters
literally comment on your
because I
shit.
think that will definitely be
Nobody listens about the
off-putting
jurors
to
right
certain members
Let me
of the
read that
jury.
bitch's
This is
comments
not
over.
a
Let her
case
talk
where
to
you can
herself.
have light moments. At least
Let her
on
have
his
a
side.
conversation
You
with
think he
herself.
takes the stand? Took the
Hit that
stand in his
thumbs
other
up though,
criminal
Joyce
trial
Lou.
25
the
years
fucking
ago.
thumbs
Very
up. She's
different
a
kind of case.
fucking
It's
stupid
some
ass,
would say
old
quite
ass
a risk to
bitch.
do it here. You think he
Fucking
takes the
cat
stand?
lady, probably never
I think
married,
he
never
does.
had
Hey,
children,
probably
just
a-
like fucking your aunt.
Hey, she's probably
She's probably a drunk.
No, I was gonna say she's probably one of the brainwashed Democrats,
Of
clearly.
course,
The judge
of
has
course,
ruled
just like
that
your
case
aunt.
comes in.
Just like my
And in that
mom.
regard, the only saving
They're all
grace,
fucking
minor
brainwashed
saving grace, is
idiots.
that there's no
Oh,
audio
Trump's
on this
doing
case,
so
but there's-
bad. Trump's
there's-
doing so bad. Get the fuck
it's
out of
a pretty
here.
high quality tape.
Biden didn't know
Knowing
what the
that's
fuck he
coming
was
in,
doing.
I
Did you
think
see
he
the
has
interview
to
Biden
take
did
the stand
Yeah.
on
explain
he just
that.
did it
I
like 2
mean,
days ago on what is that
going back
stupid
to
ass
the
fucking
issue
show, The
of,
View?
celebrity
He
fame,
literally didn't
you
even
have
know what the
tension
fuck he was
between
talking about. He
image
was literally
and
just
what's best for
mumbling
the
and
public
fucking
image
no,
and
it
for the
didn't even
public
make any
opinion
fucking
and what's
sense.
better for the client.
At one
His
point he said he
apology
helped
was
Trump won
probably
during
going
it,
to
too.
Yeah.
help his image, but I
Like, I
think
helped
it
Trump
will
win the
hurt him
election,
in
or
the
something.
criminal trial,
He
and I
didn't
think
help
that's
fucking
another
Trump win
factor which
shit.
requires him to testify,
He
because you have
fucking
not
rigged
only
the
the video,
election the first
but you
fucking
have the
time.
prior
Trump would have been
apology
president
coming
already
into
and the
evidence,
country
and
would have
that
been in a
wasn't a
better
very good
fucking place.
apology.
No, and I
Someone's
will
that
tell you
angry
though
over you having a
that what
different
version
opinion
will
than
be
them,
shown to the
they're-
jury has been
they're
part of a lot
obviously
of
a
pre-litigation
Democrat.
Right.
Actually, you
litigation
notice
leading into this
Republicans,
trial.
they're like,
That it's
oh
not
my
going to be
God, you're
necessarily the
against
CNN
this. Who
tape.
the
You're
fuck
going to
cares?
have the raw version
You can
or
like
cell phone
whoever the fuck
version,
you
so it's going to be
want.
interesting to
Right,
see what the
that's
jury
about
sees.
being an
Real
American.
quick
You
then,
like
30
fucking
seconds.
retarded ass
Do you think that
Biden?
this is a
Then
strong
go for
case
it.
against
Wonderful
Sean
should have
Combs?
some of
Sure,
them
this is the Southern
Venezuelans go
District of
live
New
with
York.
her.
They
Does
have
that
a
call
lot of
her
evidence,
wonderful?
a lot
That
of
ain't her
digital
fucking
evidence,
name.
testimonial
That's just her
evidence.
name
But at the
on
same
there.
time, I've
She
spoken
ain't
to people,
ain't
I've thought about
nothing
it
about
myself.
that bitch wonderful,
Racketeering,
okay?
sex trafficking,
Stop
those are
fucking
very
saying that name.
specific charges, very specific elements.
Just call her cunt.
And I do wonder if at the end of the day,
call her a lunatic.
maybe either the complexity of those charges or what's actually being alleged,
straight
does it
cunt.
fit?
I don't
Does
say
it
that very
actually
often,
match
but
for
she's a
that?
cunt.
And maybe transportation to engage
Call
in
the
prostitution
government
is
on
more the
that
easier
bitch.
one, but I don't know. You tell me.
It's a great question,
I work for the
and I think the
government,
jury
yet I have
instructions are
time
going to
on
be
lunch to
crucial,
sit and
and they're
comment
going
on
to
a
be highly
fucking
technical. And in
handicapped
my
person's
experience, the
fucking
juries really
feed
do
because he's
try to
fucking
follow
literally
the
promoting
judge's
what he
instructions.
wants.
So I could see an
Good
acquittal
shit
or a
that
hung
Trump's
jury
doing.
on some of these more complex charges.
Go.
There's a
Yes, and
possibility
the price
that,
of
that this has been
electricity has gone
overcharged,
down
but I think some of the
immensely.
Yeah, I
counts
know.
are,
Our
are
bill's
stronger
like
than others.
Your
at this
bill's
point.
$200
Well, we
less.
shall
Yeah, my
see. We
bill's
first
like
got to get a jury
$200
selected,
less.
then we got opening
I got my
statements. The
solar
start of
panel.
a
My van
very
kind of looks like that
high-profile
glass
and
van.
high-stakes
Yeah.
case is about to begin. Ben Shu, so good seeing you. Thank you so much for
John,
taking
you
the
need to
time. my
get
friend.
over.
Great to see you. Thank you so much, Jesse.
And that's all we have for you right now here on Sidebar, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. And as always, please subscribe on YouTube, Apple
Instead of
Podcasts,
putting your hand
Spotify,
out, just
wherever you
go.
get your podcasts. I'm Jesse Weber. Speak to you next time.
Yeah, they're doing construction everywhere.
Dude, they're still not fixing the fucking
John,
tunnel.
what are you doing?
They're still not fixing any
The
of these
jury
goddamn
trial for
problems.
Sean Puffy Combs has started and things are not looking good.
Has pleaded not guilty to multiple charges, including sex trafficking,
Sean
and has
Puffy
denied
Combs?
all civil
Puffy?
allegations
That's
against
her
him.
name,
Now,
Puffy?
sources say Combs' ex-girlfriend, Cassie
the
Ventura,
fuck
will
named
be a
him?
central witness
Oh.
during the
I
trial.
heard a
Now,
lot
sources
about
also
you.
tell CNN other witnesses expected to testify include
can you hear
his
a lot
former
about me?
sexual
Someone
partners,
might
a business
message 2
associate,
hours.
and a male sex worker.
Now, as background, we know that Diddy is facing some very serious federal charges, including racketeering,
that-
transporting
I-
individuals for prostitution, sex trafficking.
Day one of jury selection of the criminal trial of Sean P. Diddy Combs has begun. We learned about potential celebrities who might be mentioned at this trial, a theft of a wand at the Harry Potter store, Combs
What?
apparently admitting he's nervous, and whether or
You
not
should
we
be
can
trembling
actually
in his
get an
shoes.
impartial jury to hear this monumental case. This is a full recap of the day and what you might have missed in court. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber.
So I have to pee. I'm very nervous. bet you're
And this
nervous.
is another law and crime legal alert. So lawsuits allege that
I do think
has been linked to increases in
think
stomach
he's
cancer
fucking
and
guilty.
gastric cancer. Yeah.
I
So if you
mean,
were
but
lucky,
I think he's guilty, but I also think AI has made a lot of shit, but I do think he's guilty on plenty of things.
One of our legal
yeah, but
sponsors
AI
is
has
partnering
also
with the
put.
Driscoll Law
I
Firm,
think
the
no matter
national
what, though,
firm
he's going to get
helping
found
those
not guilty.
injured to ensure
Well,
their
yeah,
claims are
because he
thoroughly
scared away
presented.
all the
Visit
witnesses.
And even if I think on the day of the trial, once they pick the jurors, they could still offer him a plea deal.
It's official.
They already
We're
offered
here.
a plea
The
deal.
start
Yeah,
of
but that's
United
basically
States
the rest of
versus
your life. He's
Sean
never
P.
getting
Diddy
out.
Combs.
No, they
He
gave him
began
like
with his
15
arrest
to
in
20
September
years, which I guess
2024 and
he's
indictment
still,
on
so-
federal sex crimes charges now brings
they're
us
gonna either-
to May
I think
5th,
they're going to give him like
2025,
maybe
the
a year
start of his
prison
trial,
and
the
then
start
like
of
5
jury
years
selection,
parole.
to be more
Or
precise. Can't
option
believe
2,
we
they
I've said
might
it
give
before,
him
I've said it
probation,
again.
but
They're
that's
gonna
how
get
they
him
The
away with
idea
it.
of this
He's
going to
looking at, like,
trial
fucking
in
25
under a
years
year
life.
from his arrest and indictment at the federal level,
They have
very,
literally
very rare.
hundreds and
He has
hundreds
been
of
speeding his
witnesses.
way towards trial, wants his day in court, and now we are here. So
The only
this
thing
case
that
has
he might
changed
win on
a lot
is
too
that
since
don't go
September,
for
by
it.
the way.
Don't go
Over the
for
last
it, I
several
said the
months,
guy's
his indictment has been amended. We're now at his third superseding indictment, where he's facing 5 counts. Count 1, racketeering
Wow,
conspiracy.
5 counts now?
So that's that Combs and others allegedly created a criminal enterprise using the resources and personnel of his multifaceted business empire, where he allegedly abused, threatened, and coerced women to fulfill his sexual desires, including engaging in prolonged or extensive or elaborate sexual performances, sometimes known as freak-offs, that included sex workers. They're the underlying predicate acts that need to be proved, at least 2 need to be proved in order to get the racketeering charge, these underlying crimes that make up the larger pattern of criminal racketeering activity. So whether that be kidnapping, forced labor, arson, sex trafficking, and speaking of which, counts 2 and 4 are sex trafficking
I'm a
by force,
distraction.
fraud,
Wait,
coercion of
dumbass
victims
bitch
1
ass.
and 2.
Blue Hornets,
Namely,
and I'm
that
glad you
Combs
defended your wife,
intentionally
John.
Oh,
harbored,
thank you, Blue Hornet.
transported, enticed
take
these
the,
alleged victims to cause
comments
them
that
to
are nice.
engage in commercial
Thank you, I
sex acts
appreciate
using
it.
force, fraud, or
Distraction.
coercion.
Yeah,
Commercial sex
okay,
acts
I'm
meaning
such a
something of
distraction.
value
Wonderful,
was
it's all a
exchanged or
distraction.
promised. Counts 3 and 5,
I'm a
transportation
distraction.
to
Yeah,
engage in
you're literally writing,
prostitution,
oh, you took
namely
an
that
extra
Combs
long
allegedly
lunch, so I guess you
transported victims and
literally
commercial
take an
sex
extra long
workers
lunch
for
when you're working
purposes
for
of sex
government, huh?
work, for
Yeah,
purposes
right.
of prostitution. And now we need a panel of 12 jurors with potentially 6 alternates to
Don't
sit
bring your
and hear
wife,
this
she's a
case
distraction.
in Manhattan federal
You're a
court.
fucking
And
idiot.
it's being
Don't
reported
bring
that
your wife. I live with
150
him. I've been
potential
with him for
jurors are
5
being
years. What the
brought
hell are
in.
you
So,
talking
what
about?
did day 1 of jury
Because
selection
I
look
don't let
like
you
in Sean
talk however
Combs'
you
criminal
want to
case?
talk,
Well,
bitch.
since there are no cameras allowed in federal court, we have with us our very own eyes and ears about what happened in that courtroom today.
What happened
Law and
today?
Crimes reporter Elizabeth Milner was there.
Don't
Elizabeth,
bring
so
her
good to see you.
anymore.
Thanks for coming
I'm
out.
his wife. I go wherever I want to go. And you're not going to control that.
So, I'm going to start with the question I
Do you
always
sleep
ask
with
you.
him? Do you
How
suck his
did
dick?
Diddy
I
look?
don't think so.
What was he wearing and who was with him?
Did you get married to
Well,
him?
today
Nope,
was a
that was
lot
me.
different,
Do you have a
obviously,
ring
because
on
it's
your
day one
finger?
of jury
Nope,
selection,
that's
or to
me.
some, they consider it day 1 of the trial. So Diddy looked completely different from his pretrial hearing in that he wasn't
Oh,
wearing
yeah.
this
22 minutes ago.
Again, viewer discretion is advised here as jury selection is set to begin tomorrow in the sex trafficking trial of Sean Diddy Combs, with testimony
Shouldn't your wife
slated
be
to start the
working?
following week.
You dumb bitch.
The
Where
music
do you
mogul
think I'm
faces an
fucking
indictment
going?
that includes descriptions of quote-unquote freak-offs described as alleged drugged-up orgies where women
You
were
are
forced
so
to have
fucking
sex
stupid.
with
Shouldn't your
men
wife be
while Diddy
working?
filmed them.
Shouldn't you?
Prosecutors say witnesses
Are you
have come
not
forward
fucking
accusing the
working, you
entertainer
dumbass?
of terrorizing people
Just like
into
you
silence
are
by
on your extra
choking,
long
hitting,
lunch.
kicking, and dragging them, often
Real.
by the hair, even dangling someone
I
from a
do
balcony
work.
at one point.
What?
The defense
Dangling
arguing it
someone
was
from a balcony?
consensual sexual activity,
Sure.
while Diddy does acknowledge one episode of violence, the
I don't
caught-on-camera
even like
beating
going your
of his
stupid ass
former
hotel.
girlfriend, singer
I like to have
Cassie.
my
Again,
quality
viewer
time
discretion
lunch.
advised here as we discuss this further. I do want to bring in
Speaking
Nina
with
Rahmani,
John,
former federal
he makes
prosecutor
sense
and current
somebody
president here
else is-
of West Coast Trial
I
Lawyers.
don't even know what the
Thank
fuck
you so
said. I
much
can't
for
read
taking the
difference in
time to
Turkey.
be here with us today.
Thanks for having me, Josh. Always great to be on.
All right, you
Of course.
have a
And
nice
first
day,
off, I
honey.
do
Why
want
don't
to
you
ask
get back
you,
to
can
your
you break
government
down the
issue job
charges
while I
that
get
Diddy
to
does
mine?
face and really what the prosecution here has to prove?
Josh, there are three sets of
I
charges.
like to have my
The
quality
least
time
serious
lunch. Yeah, I'm
are
sure
the
you do. A lot of
prostitution
government
charges, and everyone
people do
knows
their
what that is.
quality
That's the
time lunch.
exchange of
If
sex
they don't work.
for something of value, usually money, and there has to be an interstate
I
component.
wish I could have
And here,
quality
some
time
of these
lunch
women
when
were
I go to
crossing
work.
state lines.
The whole
Then you
day is
have the
probably a
sex
lunch.
trafficking
Literally.
charges, and what separates
Don't lie,
sex
you take the whole
trafficking
day for
from
lunch.
consensual sex, and we know that adults can consent to sex, no matter how freaky it is one of
I
three
like to have my
things:
quality time lunch.
force,
Speaking with Johnny,
fraud,
makes sense.
or
Somebody.
coercion. And in
How
this
much is
particular
McDonald's
case, the
paying you
government is
nowadays, you
alleging
fucking dumb bitch?
force
I don't work
and
at McDonald's.
coercion.
I work
Force
at a
speaks for
fucking car
itself.
fucking
Diddy himself,
repair
his
shop, you idiot.
security, all the weapons that were
I don't work
confiscated.
at McDonald's, honey.
And then that coercion,
Never have,
that's
never
that
will.
drug element. The victims here are alleging that they were drugged and forced to participate in these freak-offs, these orgies, over the course of
Don't
days.
matter.
Then you
Don't
have
tell me I
the
work at
racketeering
McDonald's. I don't
charge.
fucking work at
When you think of
McDonald's.
racketeering, usually you
I
think
think
of the mob,
she needs to work.
I work at a
the
fucking
Hey,
body shop.
cartel,
Wonderful's
street gang, but
Wonderful's gonna be working at
racketeering is
McDonald's
really
when the
any
Yeah, literally.
fucking
Once you get
criminal
fired from Trump,
enterprise,
you'll
and
be
that
working
can
at
be
McDonald's
a
too,
loose
honey.
association
So
of
I'm gonna
two or
work
more
at
people
McDonald's.
that commit two or more racketeering acts. And here, the enterprise
How
is
much is
Diddy and his
McDonald's paying your
entourage,
wife
similar
these
to
nowadays?
R. Kelly's entourage, for instance.
How much
And
is,
I make $25 an hour, you stupid.
how much of my wife's tax dollars are paying you?
Yeah,
That's what I
literally.
wanna
How
know.
much is my tax
those are
dollars
generally
paying
the
you?
three sets of charges that comprise
Stupid ass.
this indictment.
How much of everybody's in
One thing I want to
America's
pop up
tax
here on your
dollars
screen, it's a video
going to
that
pay
has
this
been
stupid
seen
bitch?
They
time
make
and time again,
$25 an hour.
circulated
I don't
all over
think
the
McDonald's
internet.
pays that.
How might this hotel video
What,
showing
that's what
Diddy
Wonderful said?
assaulting Cassie
No,
affect
that's
the
what I'm
jury?
saying.
He has admitted that, this is something that did happen. It's caught on video. So how could it impact the jury overall?
Josh, this video
And if
is
she knows so
highly
much about me
impactful.
and you've
Because the
heard
video
so
doesn't
much,
lie.
you would
We
know I
can
don't
all
work
see
at
with our own
McDonald's.
eyes Diddy beating
Yeah, because we're at
Cassie
McDonald's,
Ventura
they're
at
gonna
the
part of my
Intercontinental
house, right?
Hotel in Los Angeles. And let me just tell you how powerful this video is. Even after
There's not a
Cassie filed her
mortgage, a house
lawsuit
that I
in November
have.
2023,
Oh,
and Diddy settled it the next day, he denied the allegations. Even after his homes in Los Angeles
show
and
your
Miami
face,
were
honey.
raided in March of last year,
How many
Diddy continued to
Big Macs
deny
you eat
the
daily?
allegations.
Shut the fuck up.
Only in
This
May of
probably
last
only
year, when
one eating
CNN
Big
got a
Macs. It
copy
sounds
of
like
this
one of
video
them
You don't
fat
released
even
it,
know
did Diddy
anything about
finally
me.
issue some sort of
Wonderful
apology.
sounds like one
I
of
think
them
the
fat
video
miserable
is going to be the
bitches.
best evidence in this case.
I'm
And if you
5'9"
believe
and
Cassie
I weigh
Ventura, and I do,
150 pounds,
Diddy
but I'm fat.
faced many of
and I
these
eat
freak
Big
offs,
Macs.
both for his own sexual
How
pleasure
old are
and
you,
maybe
Wonderful?
to maintain control
Fucking,
over
she's
some of
an
the other
old hag,
participants.
just like all the
To the
other
extent that
Democrats.
those
They're either
videos
gay
are
or
played,
old as
I
shit.
think it's going to be
Old
very
ladies are
damning
old
evidence for
cat
the
women.
defense.
Or
And I have
gay.
to ask, when you talk about the defense overall, what is their defense? I know that there's been obviously different hearings that have been held. The defense has spoken to members of the media. What is their defense overall here?
Josh, their defense is going to be the following.
Show your
This
face.
happened, but it was
Bitch, I'm cuter
consensual.
than
And
you,
whenever
I
you're
promise
dealing with
you
a
that.
sexual assault case, usually the defense will fall
Show
into one
your
of two
face. I'm not
categories.
scared to show
I
my
didn't do it,
face.
there was no
Why
sexual
sexier
activity,
than you
or I
are?
did, and
I'm
it
not
was
scared to show
consensual.
my
And because
face. I'm
we're not
not
dealing with
ugly nor
minors here,
fat,
the
so I
defense
don't
is going to
mind.
argue consent. And really, they're going to argue that the
But you
victims
don't
here, they're
deserve to see my
lying.
face, so.
And they're lying for one of three
You
reasons,
want
or
to see
maybe
my
all of
face?
them.
You can go to my
Money.
Facebook.
Many
You
of
can
them
see
have
my
filed
face
civil
there.
lawsuits. Cassie's, of
I
course,
don't
has settled
put my face
for
on
an
his
8-figure
YouTube.
sum, 10 million or more. Then you have maybe victims who are seeking fame because of Diddy's power and influence in the entertainment industry.
Johnny,
And
if you saw me, you would leave her in a heartbeat. Is this
oftentimes
bitch
defendants will
crazy?
argue that
You're
this
like
is a
80 years
disgruntled
old,
ex that has
dude.
an axe to grind.
He's gonna
So
leave
this
his
case
wife,
will
who he's been with
indeed
for
be
5
based
years,
entirely on
who literally,
cross-examination
for
of
an
the
old
victim. So the
hag,
government, of course,
who
will want
literally
to corroborate their
talked
testimony.
shit to
Some of these
him.
allegations were made
How old
many
are you
years
then,
later.
Wonderful? Like
The
what,
civil
80s,
lawsuits certainly don't
60s,
help because it
50s?
creates
Old as hell.
at least the
I
argument
would
that this
make
is
you
about
great
money
again.
as a potential
Yeah, I doubt
motivation to lie or fabricate the evidence. So
Anyone
the
that
government put on
fucking
video.
Oh, you're gonna take my
independent
husband?
witnesses,
Oh, why don't you
obviously
try?
members of
Here,
Diddy's
I'll even give it to
entourage
you.
help procure
Let's
these
see how
women,
long.
set up the freak offs, get the hotel rooms, set up the lights and cameras. So to the extent that you have video, you have individuals that corroborate this victim's testimony. I think that's going to be helpful for the Department of Justice.
How old are you even, Wonderful? Like
She's
what?
gonna take you.
The
We'll
defense
take it.
here, we are going to see
What are
the
you, like,
jury
50?
Try to take
selection
him.
take
I dare
place
you.
tomorrow. Testimony
I think she's under
expected to
50.
get
Bitch, I'll
underway
fucking
here
I'll fucking
in
stomp
about a
your
week
face
or
into
so.
the
So the
fucking
following
ground.
week after jury
I'll
selection,
give you my
what are
address.
the
You can come
sides
on
looking
over
for
and
when
you
you
can
talk
try to
about
take him. How
a
about that?
possible jury pool here?
I'll fucking
It's
I'll
unlikely
fucking
that people
stomp your
haven't
face into
necessarily
the fucking
heard about this
curb.
case or at least know
Like
who Diddy
on that
is. So
TV, like
what
on that
Oh
is the
yeah, 5
prosecution, the
years
defense,
I've been
what are
with
they
him and
looking
he's
for
gonna
in a
leave
jury?
me for someone who literally talks shit on
Prosecution and defense, they're looking
Facebook
for favorable
and works for
jurors.
the
And like you said,
government.
Josh,
Oh
everyone
yeah.
in the
and
entire
thinks
world
Biden
has
is a
heard
good
about this
president
case.
on
There's
top of it.
no place in
Been
the
taking
country,
care
maybe
of
in
my
the
husband
world,
for
you can
5
move this trial
years
to.
and you're
It is
gonna go
indeed the
you're
trial
gonna
of the
take
century,
him
certainly the biggest
and
trial
he's gonna
since maybe
leave me
Johnny
for
Depp,
you.
maybe even going
Okay,
back
in
to
your
OJ.
wildest dreams,
So what the
honey.
defense is looking for, they're looking for favorable jurors. And what are
Fuck,
favorable
she's
jurors?
stupid.
These are jurors that are skeptical of these types of allegations. Maybe people that think Me Too has gone too far. Maybe civil ones than ordinary folks. So any fans, the prosecution is going to want to get them off. Any stealth jurors, people that might want to get on this panel and write a book about it when it's all said and done. So I think both sides are going to have their jury.
By the way, Wonderful, you ain't taking me from nobody because
on social media that he
I
will.
got a
And if he
beautiful,
does,
loving
the
wife,
entire
and
case
you ain't
is
taking
going to come
jack
down
shit in your
to
wildest
his
dreams.
testimony, which is typical when a defendant takes the stand. I think that that's the biggest question in the case, Josh. And, obviously when
I think
these
they did it.
allegations came out, and, this was really one of the worst kept secrets in Hollywood, there are a lot of other people who allegedly participated, many of whom are rich and famous celebrities. So the question is, who is going to be named by witnesses during the course of this trial? Other rich and famous celebrities, and what is going to be the effect on those individuals, both inside and outside the courtroom? I can tell you right now that really no one in Hollywood wants anything to do with this case. They're trying to stay as far away from as possible for obvious reasons. So to the extent that Cassie takes a stand, I believe she's going to be the government's star witness, and she starts naming names. Those individuals are going to be in for a world of hurt. Their reputational fallout will be significant.
My last question for you here, what kind of message do you think that whatever happens here is going to send about maybe accountability there in the entertainment industry?
I think it will send a significant message. Some of these allegations date back decades, Josh. And let's not forget, if it wasn't for Cassie really opening the door and filing that bombshell lawsuit, and if Diddy had settled it earlier before these allegations were made public, he may still be a free man right now. It was really her. And obviously, Diddy has to be responsible for his own conduct, but this was taking place for years, decades before anyone decided to move forward. So if Diddy walks away a free man, I think it would really set the movement back significantly. And if he's convicted, which I believe he will be, I think this will just be the beginning of the reckoning for the music industry. We've already seen it in the entertainment industry with folks like Weinstein, but I think the music industry is next up for both prosecutors and civil plaintiffs lawyers.
And one thing I think a lot of people wish is that there were cameras allowed in the courtroom so we could see all of this unfold. But of course, reporters will be there to gather the information. Not exactly the same, but Nima Rahmani, thank you so much for taking the time to join us here. Anything you want to add, anything I missed before I let you go?
Thanks, Josh. I gotta agree with you on the cameras there. Unfortunately, in federal court, as well as New York State courts, there are no cameras allowed. And, I'm a big believer in public access. We have free and open trials in this country, so that's something we need to take up with our Supreme Court justices because they don't allow cameras in federal court. Instead, we get those sketches. I do believe that the public has a right to know and to watch this trial if they indeed want to do so.
All right, Nima Rahmani, thank you again for taking the time, as always, to be here with us. We appreciate it.
My address.
Thanks, Josh. I'm sure we're going to be talking much more about this case.
The trial's going to be
sure.
live, right?
I think, I don't know.
I don't get it. Why
They
can't
said it, but I don't get why any of the other stuff is
I never
live.
imagined Mom Talk to blow up like this.
Yeah, right. I don't know why the
You're
rest
opening
of
up
the stuff is all
yourself and your
done.
family to all kinds of drama,
and it's going to destroy the group.
Please have the camera. I can't do this.
The show must go on.
As the trial for Sean Diddy Combs begins, prosecutors are having trouble.
Fucking 80-year-old.
So literally just leaving the federal courthouse, lots happened today. The big thing is there is still no jury. They're so concerned about jurors backing out over the weekend once they find out that they're actually on the jury, that they're going to bring 43 of them back on Monday morning. They're going to strike them and then go right into opening statements. Part of that is because they received an email overnight that one juror backed out. She was like, this is just too much. I can't do it. Too much pressure. They had to strike another juror who did not give accurate information. He's engaged in a lawsuit with the city of New York and forgot to mention that. I have been in court every day this week. I've been in court every day since this whole case started, and I will be here every day in the courtroom.
Who the fuck makes
on
their
this
name
week.
wonderful?
So literally just leaving the federal courthouse, lots happened today. The big thing is there is still no jury. They're so concerned about jurors backing out over the weekend once they find out that they're actually on the jury, that they're going to bring 43 of them back on Monday morning. They're going to strike them and then go right into opening statements. Part of that is because they received an email overnight that one juror backed out. She was like, this is just too much. I can't do it. Too much pressure. They had to strike another juror who did not give accurate information. He's engaged in a lawsuit with the city of New York and forgot to mention that. I have been in court every day this week. I've been in court every day since this whole case started, and I will be here every day in the courtroom all next week. So literally just leaving the federal courthouse, lots happened today. The big thing is there is still no jury. They're so concerned about jurors backing out over the weekend once they find out that they're actually on the jury, that they're going to bring 43 of them back on Monday morning. They're going to strike them and then go right into opening statements. Part of that is because they received an email overnight that one juror backed out. She was like, this is just too much. I can't do it. Too much pressure. They had to strike another juror who did not give accurate information. He's engaged in a lawsuit with the city of New York and forgot to mention that. I have been in court every day this week. I've been in court every day since this whole case started, and I will be here every day in the courtroom.
That's what I'm saying. Even if he fucking.
So literally just leaving the federal courthouse, lots happened today. The big thing is there is still no jury. They're so concerned about jurors backing out over the weekend once they find out that they're actually on the jury, that they're going to bring 43 of them back on Monday morning. They're going to strike them and then go right into opening statements. Part of that is because they received an email overnight that one juror backed out. She was like, this is just too much. I can't do it. Too much pressure. They had to strike another juror who did not give accurate information. He's engaged in a lawsuit with the city of New York and forgot to mention that. I have been in court every day this week. I've been in court every day since this whole case started, and I will be here every day in the courtroom all next week.
They just said
So
they
literally just
dismissed it to one
leaving federal
person because
courthouse. Lots happened
Listen,
today.
here.
The big thing is there is still no jury. They're
don't
so
even have one
concerned about
picked.
jurors backing out over the weekend once they find out that they're actually on the jury. That they're going to bring 43 of them back on Monday morning. They're going to strike them and then go right into opening statements.
I wouldn't want to be the
Part of
jury
that is
that
because
brings
they
it,
received an
especially if
email
like he wins.
overnight.
Like
And
imagine
one
you
juror
are gonna
backed
go
out.
all
She was
after
like,
that jury.
this is just too much. I can't do it. Too much pressure. They had to strike another
Why would you
juror
go to
who did not
guilty if you see
give
videos
accurate
and evidence?
information.
There
She
should
was
be no
engaged in a
reason you would
lawsuit
do
with the
that.
city of New York and forgot to mention that. I have been in court every day this week. I've been in court every day
Yeah, but that's
since
still,
this
there's
whole
gonna be people that come kill
case
you.
started,
You're
and I
gonna
will be here
mistrial
every
these
day
rape little
in the
kids.
courtroom all next week. So literally just leaving the federal courthouse. Lots happened today. The big thing is there is still no jury. They're so concerned about jurors backing out over the weekend once they
I'm
find
saying
out
there's
that
gonna be
they're
a jury.
actually on the jury. That they're going to bring 43 of them back on Monday morning. They're going to strike them and then go right into opening statements. Part of that is because they received an email overnight. Then one juror backed out. She was like, this is just too much. I can't do it. Too much pressure. They had to strike another juror who did not give accurate information. He's engaged in a lawsuit with the city of New York and forgot to mention that. I have been in court every day this week. I've been in court every day since this whole case.
I wonder when Trump's coming to Chicago. Probably never, right?
Well, he was just in Michigan doing a speech.
Lemonade Renters Insurance protects you from life's coulda, shoulda, woulda. I could have
Yeah,
hired a
I want to see when it's coming. I want to go
Shoulda
to this
locked
next
the
rally if they got it in
Would have bought a
Wisconsin.
better toaster if I
Or
knew this
Michigan,
one
the
would
next
get me.
closest rally.
For as low as $5 a month, Lemonade Renters Insurance will protect all your stuff from those
gotta
times
ask
you coulda,
Nick.
shoulda, woulda, but didn't. Get a quote at lemonade.com/renters.
He follows it more than I do.
There must be like a website to follow them or something.
Yeah, I had it. I forgot.
Where was the one we went to in Wisconsin?
Yeah, I went to two in Wisconsin. One
No,
with you.
the one with me, babe.
That was in Green Bay. The one that
The one that you went to, you didn't even make it, right?
No, I made it. I made it
Before
there.
he spoke?
Yeah.
I thought you said you didn't.
Yeah, no, I did. What the fuck?
Today, in a New York federal courtroom, Sean Diddy Combs told the judge he was, quote, a little nervous. We're at Mogul's criminal trial this morning. He is trafficking,
I would be trembling in my fucking.
The two sides are now in the
flip-flops.
process of selecting a jury of 12 plus alternate.
Yeah, right.
Things
I
are
wouldn't
getting
be a little
really tense
nervous.
in
I'd be
Diddy's big
trembling
court
my whole
case.
body.
On day 3 of picking the jury, everyone's on edge. From the prosecutors to Diddy's high-powered team of
Scared than
lawyers.
I've ever been in my
But
entire
what
life.
really lit a fire under Diddy? The judge brought in someone who's no stranger to celebrity trials. Ben Chu, the same lawyer who helped Johnny Depp win his first case against Amber Heard.
There's
Mr.
videos. I
Depp
mean,
built
come
a
on.
reputation as one of the most
fucking
talented
videos.
actors in Hollywood.
I would agree if there wasn't
A
videos.
respected
There's
artist
literal videos.
Whose name was
That's how stupid he is.
associated
He was
with
recording
success
everything.
at the box office.
Blackmail him.
Today,
Yeah.
his name
But
is
even of himself,
associated
he was doing it. That's so
with a lot.
stupid. If you were seriously doing that shit, why the fuck would you do that?
Right.
Out of that big group, 49 people were dismissed right away. The rest were asked about 100 yes or no questions,
Yeah, babe, I
mostly
gotta
about
get
how
there.
they get their news, feel about Diddy. Some were honest about not liking him. Others said they weren't sure if they could stay unbiased. By day 3, they narrowed things down to 35 potential jurors. These people come from all sorts of backgrounds. Some work in design, others in social work, medicine, or manufacturing. They range in age from their 30s to their 80s. They also get their news from everywhere: YouTube, social media, newspapers, etc. This makes the case quite interesting because these jurors will often come across famous personalities taking sides in this lawsuit, increasing the chances of them becoming biased. Take Dr. Umar, for example.
I asked you about this upcoming Diddy trial that's coming up in a few days. I think it's coming up in about 4 or 5 days. How you feel about Cassie testifying against Diddy?
Yes, sir.
Longer, it might be a month.
It should be absolutely illegal for Cassie to testify.
You better hurry up and go make sure.
When he paid her off,
You hear me?
I
Babe, what are you
believe there
doing?
was an NDA
Why
involved
wouldn't
in
you
that
just park
situation.
there?
He was paying her off
Is that thing
to
off?
shut up and go away.
Turn it off.
After all the money he paid her,
Turn it
after her signing an NDA.
I gotta go
How
get
can
tamales.
he then be
Like,
brought
subscribe,
back into
share.
court
We're
to
gonna
testify
be back,
against the
and then I gotta go
Bill
check out the
Cosby?
Marine base.
Alright, John, come on.
So we'll return live. We'll return
Who
live
lied
at the
on
Marine
Bill
base.
Cosby
Like,
Hey,
during
subscribe,
Mikey,
share,
you
hit thumbs
go
up.
to my job. Come on.
These cases
Thanks for
had
watching. We'll be back.
NDAs,
Fuck you.
and the court let them break
Thanks for
the
watching.
NDA.